Hey everybody, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it is, in fact, time for patch notes for patch 6.16 for the game some would call League of Legends. Yes, that's right. It does have a name. I know we call it LOL, we call it many things, but it is time for patch notes. Joining me today is nobody, yet again. I find myself in a world of loneliness. No, just kidding. Kyle's busy again. There's really no other answer for it besides that. He does plan on coming back eventually, but until he gets his shit straightened out, it's just going to be me riding solo. I hope that's okay with you guys. But that's just kind of the dealio. I'm just finishing moving some things around on my screen, which is why I'm doing this right now. There we go. All right, cool. Anyways, like I said, we're going to be talking about the patch for 6.16. If you could leave the video and or stream a like right now, that would be greatly appreciated. And thank you, as always, for the support, for watching videos and such. So, yes. We back? We doing internet? You decide to work now? What the shit? Okay, well, anyways, it appears things are back. I have no friggin' idea what happened there. That makes no sense why it cut out, but whatever, we're back. I don't know what you heard or what you didn't hear, but anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Kled being the first champion. Let's just start from there, shall we? Because I don't know what that was all about. Anyways, Kled will be released tomorrow, most likely, because they already released his champion spotlight. Usually when that happens, that means he will be released at the beginning of the patch. Although if there's some weird bug while they are patching, he might get delayed a little bit. But things should be fine with him coming back into order. I think he looks fun, and that's a good thing. Also, he will probably change the meta a little bit. I wonder, will he be playable at Worlds? I'm assuming we're far enough in front of Worlds that he will be. Because sometimes, you know, there's little delays. Or not delays, but they'll delay a newer champion if it's really close to Worlds. I know we're not really close to Worlds, but we're kind of actually getting there. So, yeah, that's what's up. And yes, so he will be released. I did make a video about him, kind of like a general overview. I did also talk about him myself and what I liked about him. Be sure to check that out. I believe there's an annotation or a card up in the top right of the screen that you can click on. You can check that out. So it's all fun. Do that. It's awesome. Besides that, we are going to talk about other champions that are seeing changes, although this is a pretty short patch. And like I said, in the previous patch, there's not like a ton of changes probably going to be happening before Worlds. They're going to tweak things, but I don't suspect massively huge changes. And this is kind of the first patch indicating those changes. So, first, for real changes is Aurelia. Big changes actually coming in for her. Well, like how I just said, there aren't big changes. This is a somewhat big change for her, but I like it overall personally. Let's talk about it. Her passive, Ionian Fervor, champions within 1,000 range, not 1,400, of Aurelia count as nearby now, so that range has been decreased. So she no longer gets tenacity based solely on the number of nearby enemies. Now grants tenacity on the number of nearby enemies compared to the number of nearby allies. Champions. Aurelia counts as one ally because you are a champion, believe it or not. So, anyways. So, basically, instead of just a bunch of enemies showing up, let's say it's a 2v4, instead of you just getting tenacity based off of the 4 of them, and now it's going to be based off of that you are in a 2v4, and it's based off the number that are, there or aren't there. So, more of us than them, 0% tenacity. Evenly matched, 10% tenacity. More of them than us, 25, 30, 35, and 40% tenacity. It scales upward at levels 1, 6, 11, and 16. So, that is what's going to be happening for her tenacity. She's going to be in a better spot when there's a disadvantage for her, but it's really not going to be good when there are more allies than enemies. Her tenacity will not be better than it used to be. So, that's something to maybe think about. But her tenacity could start to get pretty crazy, honestly, if you play Aurelia and you are in a team fight, because her tenacity would be outrageous. So, a little bit less outrageous tenacity going on now. And then Transcendent Blades. They fixed a tooltip bug where Transcendent Blades scaling was incorrectly listed as 0.6 bonus attack damage rather than 0.7, which is the actual value, and that is unchanged. So, that's just kind of good for you. You get to see what the correct scaling is. And those are the changes to Aurelia. I like them. I don't necessarily hate playing against her or hate playing her, but she's been a little stronger recently. And with the positive changes for her, at least on Trinity Force, it is probably a good change. So, since when do they release new champions? On Wednesdays? They just release champions whenever the hell they feel like it. It's Rito Games, guys. They do what they want. They have so much money. Anyways, Leona is the next champion up during this patch that is seeing a change. It's just a tooltip display. Now displays the damage text to Leona when her allies proc Sunlight, because that's her passive. So you'll see how much damage that's actually doing. That's nice. Some good clarity. You can actually see what it's doing instead of just seeing it actually go off. You'll see some damage numbers, which is a nice change. So really not positive or negative. Well, I mean, it's positive, but it's not like a nerf or a buff. So nothing to really worry about for Leona, although Leona is still in a very good spot. I believe I talked about her previously in a video. She has a very, very high win rate. We'll just double check that right now to make sure I'm not talking crap. Let us see. Who out of the supports has the best win rate? It is, she fell down a little bit, but it's still above 50%. Of course, it's Sona. Duh. That's really no surprise, though. All right, so Leona's still good, as we know. Anyways, continuing onward, we have Lulu. We're already in the L's. Lulu is seeing some changes, some buffs, actually, on her W, which is Whimsy. The cooldown on that is being decreased at earlier ranks. Instead of it starting at 18 seconds, it's going to be 16 seconds for the cooldown, and it's going to scale all the way back down to 12 where it was already, so pretty standard. That's what's up with that. And then bonus attack speed. She's actually going to be getting more bonus attack speed on that at all levels. So instead of it being 15% to 35% bonus attack speed, it's going to be 25% to 45% bonus attack speed. So yes, that is what happens. Those are the deals. Those are the things. Where's Kyle? He died in a fire, but it's okay. No, Kyle's just busy, as we determined and stated earlier. That is what's up. So Lulu, we'll be seeing those changes. Good changes for Lulu. I don't actually think she really needs them, but, you know, it's whatever. Lulu's super, super good regardless, so whatever. That's what's just going to happen. Mordekaiser is next up. I like Mordekaiser. When I saw his name in the patch notes, I got very excited until I read these, and then I was only a little excited because these changes are good, but they're not that great. They're really not like big changes for Mordekaiser. As we know, he's kind of all over the place right now. A lot of people played him. In fact, let's just check it because I have it open over here. Let's just see where he's at right now because everybody started playing him, and they started not doing good. Yeah, his win by patch, the minute he got played in the LCS, his win rate went from a 54%, and then he got played in the LCS and everybody started playing him. It's now 45%. I really hope they address Mordekaiser soon. He needs some help. He does a lot of damage. No arguments there. He earns a lot of gold. But my God, his win rate is terribad. They need to fix him. That's all I'm saying. I like Mord. I play Mord. It's fun. I might work on my level 7 mastery with him, but geez, he's terrible. Yeah, so that's what's up. Anyways, I highly doubt Ankle would want to do patch notes with me, and I'm not sure I do either. Anyways, Mordekaiser. What they're doing is they're cleaning up his ultimate a little bit. Children of the Grave. The Ghost prioritizes champions and towers over minions when looking for something to attack, which is good. The Ghost continues to its previous action once crowd control effects wear off, which is also good instead of it resetting it. The Ghost chases its targets to the last known location if it loses vision. The Ghost can be ordered to follow Mordekaiser by targeting Mordekaiser himself with R or Alt right click, which is good. And then we also have the Ghost looks for things to attack after 8 seconds of being idle, prioritizing champions and towers over minions, which is also good, so it doesn't just stand there. And the Ghost doesn't cancel its basic attacks when ordered to attack a unit it was already attacking, which is also very, very good. So a lot of changes to help Mordekaiser's pet. Like I said, as somebody who does play Mordekaiser, the pet does get stupid sometimes when you tell it to move around or attack things or not attack things. It just gets kind of stupid and clumsy, so hopefully these AI changes are helpful. Not saying it's going to help him in the ways that he needs help, but they're good changes. They're positive, I suppose. We'll see what happened. What happened to Ranger? Ranger works for Rito, so he's super busy. Next up on the docket, we are going to be talking about Nautilus. Actually, so this is one of the, I don't want to say big changes. This is a great change, honestly, in this patch. Depth charge for Nautilus. Targets that depth charge passes through are now stunned for 1.5, and 2 seconds, in addition to being knocked up. Knock up duration, instead of being 0.5, it's now 1 second. This has kind of made him a very good option for a tanky jungler or another round of Nautilus support, which we did see a handful of last season. This makes his ultimate really, really good if you can target it onto somebody in the backline. If it goes through an entire team, you're going to stun an entire team with a Nautilus ultimate, and then he can follow it up, obviously, with his Dredge Line and his Depth Charge. Not Depth Charge, sorry, his Shock, whatever, Mabobberski. And then also his standard attacks, which just stun people. So, King of Crowd Control, one of the Kings of Crowd Control, that is. This could make him very, very strong again. Look for Nautilus again, and look out for chaotic team fights where everybody's getting stacked up. If he uses an ultimate on anybody, he's going to do a lot of damage, or just like really a lot of crowd control damage, where he just controls them all, and then your team jumps on everybody who's pretty much been screwed over by depth charge. So that is going to be a very good change for Nautilus. I personally love to play him. He's super fun, in my opinion. He gets super big and brawly. It's like awkwardly ridiculous. Kind of like how Scion sometimes gets like awkwardly brawly. He's doing a little more damage than you think he should for his tankiness. That's how Nautilus feels. And they're also both immensely, enormously huge champions, so you feel ridiculously awesome. If I have any recommendations for skins, if you want one for a champion Nautilus, get his astronaut skin. It is super fun and looks amazing. That's my go-to skin, just saying. But yeah, good changes for Nautilus. Like I said, if you want to pick him up and play him somewhere, I would play him as a support maybe. I think that would be a pretty good spot for him. Yeah, do it. Do it to it. Try it out. Sona is next up. She's seeing some more nerfs, as we know she's the strongest support, because we just talked about that. Also, because she's just been strong ever since her rework, or her pseudo-rework, however you wanted to call it. Song of Celerity. Self-movement speed being decreased from 13 to 17% down to 10 to 14%, so decent hit to her there. She doesn't really need tons of it, but they're going to be taking a little more off there. And then the ally movement speed ratio for the ability power ratio, it's going to be taken down from 0.8 to 0.6, so there's some changes there too. And then on her Crescendo, which is her ultimate, the basic ability cooldown reduction that she has on that as a passive, that is also being reduced at the first 2 ranks. Instead of it being 20%, 30%, and 40%, 10, 25, and 40% is what it's going to be. So that is what is happening. Anyways, that's what's up. So, those are the changes to Sona. Is it going to make her slightly worse? Yes. Is she still going to be very strong? Yes, she's still going to be fine. These aren't that big of changes. They are changes, yes. They do affect her, yes. They are supposed to tune her down a little bit because she's a little strong with a 56% win rate. Let's go. Let's check it. 56. 56. Zyra's been moving back up again, hasn't she? She has. 55.5% win rate. Yeah, Sona, Soraka, and Janna, of course. Why wouldn't those 3 be at the top for solo queue? Of course, that's how that works. Anyways, that is what's up for Sona. And then next up is Victor. Victor is seeing a change that I'm actually really happy about seeing. I've been noticing this more and more, mostly in the LCS, because I don't really like playing Victor recently. I mean, he's fine. He's in a good spot. I just don't care for him recently. Chaos Storm. Maximum movement speed is being decreased on it by 50, but the minimum movement speed is being increased, but the speed starts decaying at 300 range, not 350, so it'll decay sooner, and then the minimum speed capped is at 900 range instead of 950. It also no longer moves at maximum speed when Victor targets himself. So the snapback movement is like, it's no longer existent. It's been removed. The speed at which Chaos Storm could be moved around recently was unbelievably good. Like, just like ungodly good. I don't know if a lot of you have noticed it. Go watch an LCS game where he was played recently. That thing could go everywhere so fast, considering like previously you drop it and it kind of like hover and move and yeah. But recently it was like and it just dishing out damage wherever you needed it, which is nice, but it's just, it was too strong considering the way its damage is ramped since they tweaked its damage output. So this is a decent nerf to Victor. I'm not saying he won't be played at all, but he'll probably not be played as much now because that was a very strong aspect of it. And there's some other things about his kit that are good when it comes to wave clear and just damage and control. But overall, this is a pretty significant nerf to him, at least in the competitive realm. Outside that, honestly, I think a lot of people won't notice this because it isn't direct damage numbers. We'll see. If you disagree, let me know. If you play just like a crazy amount of Victor, I don't know. There might be like a crazy Victor main in the chat right now. So that's what's happening. So when's this happening? We talk about it at the beginning of every stream, and this is the way it goes to every stream. Guys, the patch always comes out the day after the notes are released. Every single time. I don't know how people don't get that yet. It's always that. I'm not trying to be like mean or anything. Like every single time patch notes get released, patch happens at night, you'll play it tomorrow. That's always how it works. It has been for now and forever. Amen. Champion Select, they did make changes to it in patch 6.15. Queue times can vary dramatically depending on the roles a player's pick. So we add the queue time to impact estimations into the position select. Now you can decide if you prefer getting into a game or getting your primary. Position select now displays when and to what degree position combinations impact estimated queue times. There are still known bed for 5 ranks, yada, 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 where the wait time is 0. Okay, so there's still a bug there. Anyways, they added that. It was kind of nice. I will say one thing, it is kind of cool, although it's kind of an obviously there's no super long wait for support, and yeah, mid's always taken. That's like always what it says. But one thing I will say is if you pick a role first, a primary role first, like jungle, which usually doesn't have super long wait, it's kind of an in-between, and then you pick mid as your secondary, it doesn't show you a longer time duration for the mid one, but it did if you were picking it as your primary. So if you want mid as a chance, but you're willing to play jungle or top really, pick that and then put mid as your secondary. You still might get mid surprisingly. I don't know why, but it's just the way that works. So that's something to know or realize or try out. Anyways, bug fixes. There's a bug fix on Final Spark, dealing damage to champions that hit Lux couldn't see them. Thought it's weird. Wasn't dealing damage. Wow. That's ridiculous, and that's sucky. Spirit Rush changes, all types of little crap. Cursor, weird direction casting over the minimap no longer does that. Tumbling now properly damages inhibitors in the Nexus because they did add that to Vayne in a previous patch. It was to turrets, but now it'll affect the inhibitors in Nexus the way it should. Wish now properly does the Ardent Sensor's attack speed buff, even from far away. Oriana's Ball no longer visually disappears until next spell cast if an ally dies while holding it, which is good. You don't want your ball to disappear because you kind of need that to do things. It's helpful. Anyways, I'm not going to go over every single bug fix because bug fixes are just bug fixes. It's stuff that should have been working correctly, and now we can just assume it is. Just unless you really are into it. But you can read the bug fixes. You can just pause the video right here, or obviously go check out the patch notes if you really want to on their website. But those are lots of bug fixes that are happening. Smooth out some stuff on Project Katarina's textures. Cool. Upcoming skins. The SKT1 skins from their World Championship are going to be coming out during this patch. They won't usually get released the day of, but they'll get released sometime during the patch. So you can look forward to Alistair, Nidalee, Faker's Rise. You can look for the Azir, the Kalista, and the Renekton Tan, if those are the champions you would like to pick up a skin for. The skins look pretty cool, honestly. I think they're going to be neat. I have most of the SKT1 skins from Season 3, also because I was rooting for them, and I was at Worlds for Season 3 and watched SKT win that one. So that'd be neat. I wonder if they can take it again this year. And then we have Sir Kled, which is a ridiculous-looking skin. It's all about that beard right there and that missing tooth, that hillbilly yordle. Looks neat. I've seen it in game once or twice. But yeah, so we get to see that. It'll be fun. Kled's just coming out. I'm just excited for him. He just looks ridiculously fun. I've played him a little bit on the PvE. Like I said, I made that video for him, but he's just a fun champion overall and just kind of goofy and nifty. He's also mentions badgers, which I did say in the video too. And whenever you talk about a badger, you know, you make me happy. So that is what's up. But those are, I mean, that's it for the patch. It's not that long of a patch. There really weren't a ton of changes. Really just looking forward to the release of Kled. Some good balance things, obviously, with Aurelia and Victor. Sona toning her down a little bit. Quality of life changes for Mordekaiser. Oh, big change for Nautilus. Do like that. Might make him competitive again. Those are the things I'm looking forward to. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to either in the chat right now or down below in the comments. Once again, if you could like this video and or stream, depending on when you caught it, that would be greatly appreciated. But other than that, that's going to be the patch. It drops tomorrow, and I wish all of you guys the best of luck. I'll see you next time, all right? Maybe I'll stream later tonight. Make sure you follow me on Twitter so you know, because I always tweet it out. So that's the deal. I'll see you guys later, all right? Peace.